So I picked up a bunch of fruits and vegetables to preserve from our local produce stand. Now, there will be multiple parts to this video, so make sure you come back and watch all of them. So I'm going to start with the tangerines. I'm trying to use the peels too, so I'll show you how I freeze dry those after I can. Of course, we'll peel our tangerines and we'll part them and fill up my jars. Now that I have all of my little tangerines in these quart jars, I'm going to take, you don't have to do this, but I like to add honey instead of sugar. So I don't really measure it. I just take some honey and just put that right over it. I would really rather use something like honey instead of sugar. Like I said, I don't really measure it. I just put some in there. Just gonna pour. Probably easier just to pour it instead of. And then any that I spill, I will wipe off with a little rag. Just gives it a little extra sweetness. Like I said, you don't have to do this. You can add sugar if you don't have honey. But I like to do this. It's so good. Alright, let's, oop. Alrighty. That's good. Alright, now that I have the honey, I will add some, it's not boiling water, but it's pretty hot. Alright, I'm going to take my little funnel and I'm going to take a ladle, take the hot water. That hot water will help to melt that honey a little bit. You will add this water to about 1 inch headspace, and then you just keep going until you fill up all the jars. This is actually really good, especially in the winter when you don't really have a lot of citrus. You can make kind of whatever you want, really. Pour it over some desserts. You could throw it in a smoothie. It would be really good. Alright, I'm going to finish up these jars and I'll be back when I'm finished filling them up. I have all the jars filled, and I will then take a little bamboo skewer. You can use a knife, you can use a debubbler, whatever you happen to have handy. And I'll just take this and poke down in there, get any air bubbles out of there. There's quite a bit because there's a lot of little tangerine pieces in there. And I'm pretty positive that it's gonna, all of these, the water level is gonna go down. And when it does, just take a little more water and put a little bit more in there. Alright, so I'll do it to this one, around the edge. Now this, with this little bamboo skewer, because it's so thin, I could, you know, poke this down in the middle, but then you kind of, because they're so soft, you stab some of the little tangerines, which doesn't really matter. But anyway, So just try to get those air bubbles out. Add a little more water. And I will come back when I've finished all these. I won't make you suffer through each one. So I'll be back. Got everything debubbled, and I'm going to take like a little rag or a little napkin. You can take, you know, whatever, something like this. Take it, dip it in some vinegar, white vinegar, and I'm going to go around the edges. Make sure I get all that honey off of there, because I want to make sure that there's nothing on the rim of these jars to keep the lids from sealing good. And I think I already did this one, but I'll do it again. Alright. There we go. Oh, that's nice. I know I saw some honey on the rim of one of those, but I think I got it all. So, okay. Got that done. The rest I will actually pour into my water bath canner, because we are going to water bath these. So that'll go in there to keep my jars clean, because we have well water. So next, I got the rims clean. I will take the lids. Now these ball lids, you don't have to heat them up. I always have, so I guess it's just a habit. I don't boil them, but I do make sure they're kind of hot. I just think it softens up that little rubber thing around the top. And get those on there. All right. Now I take my rings. Get that fingertip tight. That's all you gotta do. You don't have to crank her down. Alright. There we go. Alright, so these are ready to go in the water bath canner, and I will go add my vinegar to the water, and I'll be back. Alright, I will get my vinegar poured in there. Get my jars loaded into my water bath canner. Like I said, I'm not going to pressure can these. These are going to be water bath. Now with these, you need to make sure that they are covered with 1 inch of water. So I'll have to add some water to this. Actually, it looks pretty good, but I am going to add just a little bit of water. Alright, I'm going to add just a little bit of water. That should do it. Alright, I'm going to turn that on high, put the lid on it, and I will wait till that comes to a full rolling boil. Alright. Now that's a rolling boil. Alrighty. So I'll start my timer for 10 minutes, and that is for pints and quarts. Alright. We'll be back. Alright, it has been 10 minutes. Turn it off and take the lid off of there. So now what I do is to keep it just from going from one extreme to the other, this really, really hot water, I let it sit in here for about 5 minutes. So I'm going to put a timer and, oops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I'm going to let it just cool down just a little bit. I know 5 minutes isn't long, but it's enough. So we'll come back. All right, they are finished. So I'm going to take them out. I'm excited because these are pretty. Oh, yes. You can enjoy tangerines anytime. And it is super easy. 10 minutes in a water bath canner. That's it, y'all. I mean, the longest part, you know, obviously is the prep. But these are awesome. Now I'm going to preserve some tangerines some different ways. This is one of them. We'll be freeze drying some, and then we'll be freeze drying the peels so we can make into a powder, which we'll show you that later. So, simple. That's it. And now it's time to put the peels onto the trays. Now these medium trays should only hold about 2 pounds each, but since tangerine peels are super light, you would basically go by volume and not weight. I try and not put them really thick, and I tear the large peels into smaller ones. Now, I always pre-freeze everything that I freeze dry. It will cut down on time that it takes during the freeze drying process. So just get them on your trays and you put them in the freezer and let them freeze at least overnight. If it, you know, goes 24 hours, 48 hours in your freezer, that's fine too. Just make sure that they stay in there at least overnight. So I'm going to push start and let this cool down to about 20 degrees. At that time, I will put in the tangerine peels. It says wait 15 minutes before loading trays, but I like to let mine get down to about 20 degrees, which generally takes about 30 to 40 minutes. So we'll be back. Alright, so the tangerine peels are ready to get out of the freeze dryer. It says 22 hours, but this was actually finished at about 16 hours, but I always let things go for at least 4 or 5 hours, but we were getting a pig pen ready for my granddaughter's show pig, so we've been busy. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and hit cancel, and that will stop. So I will open the drain valve and get these out. The tangerine peels are ready to jar up. So what I'm going to do is, it's late at night and I'm tired, so I'm not going to put these in mylar bags. I'm still waiting on the situation with the holes in the mylar bags. So I'm going to put these in jars. But this is just, they're just crumbly, super dry. So I'm going to put these in a jar, and I'm going to take these and make a orange zest powder. So I'm gonna blend these up later. I'll show you that process. My intentions are to either use these just for the orange zest in recipes, and I might, after I powder these up, I might use these in some capsules, and you can take, you know, every day. So not sure if I'm going to do that. It was a suggestion from a friend. So we will see. what I end up doing. And since I'm going to crush these up anyway, I think I'm going to just shove them down in there. Good. Alright, so I'm going to finish jarring these up, and I'll see how much these 4 trays make, and I'll come back when I'm finished. I ended up with 2 half-gallon jars of the tangerine slices. That was 4 trays in my medium Harvest Right freeze dryer. So now I will put an oxygen absorber in each one of these because I'm not going to powder these yet. Also, as I was putting these in the jars, I used this little tamper and just tamped it down in there to fit everything in there. This is actually from a fermenting kit that I have, but it worked really good. So I used that, and let me get this oxygen absorber in here. I use a 300cc oxygen absorber, and like I said, I'm going to powder these up tomorrow, and not sure exactly what I'm going to use them for yet, so I have options. So I'll bring you back after I powder these. So I take my slices and I do remove some of the white pith, although the pith does contain a lot of fiber, is a great source of vitamin C, and is antioxidant rich. Most people don't know that. I then cut them in half so there won't be any issue of being able to freeze dry the inside of each tangerine. And now they will go in my freezer overnight. Alright, we got our freeze dryer turned on so the temperature can start dropping. I wait till it gets about 20 degrees, and then I will put in my tangerine slices. Continue, and we'll come back when it's finished. So I'm going to pull one tray out and check them and see how they look. So I'm going to hit cancel, and I'll release the valve and open the door. Alright, I'm going to test these, see how they look. I think I'm going to put those back. Yeah, some of those are still a little soft. They're not crunchy, so they're going back in the freeze dryer. They taste good though. Going back. Good morning, or whatever time of day you're watching this. So last night I put in extra hours because it wasn't dry enough. So I just let it run all night. You don't have to do that. It was hopefully done somewhere in the middle of the night, but anyway, I didn't want to get up and have to do this. So I'm going to check them this morning and see if I think that they're dry enough. They seem a lot better. Yep, I think that's got it. I'm going to check another part of the tray. They're a little tart, but they're good. They're very brittle. Those are good. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get these in in a jar. So I'm going to put some of these in jars and some in a mylar bag. These will be used to snack, you know, like if I just want a little bit of citrus taste, I'll grab me a few of them. Like I said, the rest will go into mylar bags. It makes a little room. Few more. Alright, that looks good. So then I'm going to take one of my oxygen absorbers. It's kind of hard to say in the mornings. Put that right in there. Alright, got my lid. Wrong size. That's why you have both. Okay, so I'm going to put that on there. The ring. And there you go. I will end up putting one of my little sealers on here that is with my sucker thingy. Whatever it's called, I'm tired, okay? Now, I'm going to get the rest of these, put these in a mylar bag. I will actually use that because it's just easier to get in the bags. Alright. Now I am going to get the rest of the slices out of the freeze dryer, and when I've got them all bagged up, I'll come back. I am finally finished with these slices. So I got 2 jars, quart, pint. These will just go on my shelf just if the grandkids want to, you know, snack on them a little bit. This is more for long-term storage because, you know, being a mylar and it keeps the light out. These are actually little MRE bags, and this, I believe, is a 2-quart bag. So now I'm going to show you how I seal these mylar bags up. Now when you order a freeze dryer from Harvest Right, you will actually get one of these heat sealers with the unit. So it has a little dial on the end, and I believe this is supposed to be for the thickness. So this is a 7 mil, so this is on a 7. So you take that, and I have it zipped closed with an oxygen absorber in each bag. So I leave these little notches because this is where you can tear them open. I leave that off of there. You push it down, hold it, and you'll hear a little noise. Then I'll do it again to make sure that I have a good heat seal. All right. So there you go, nice and sealed. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but I do want to show you what I do. So when I'm finished sealing a bag, take a Sharpie and write what is in the bag. And like this, I just put tangerine slices and I put the date. Oh, let's see, 9. I don't even know what today is. Jeez. Anyway, it don't matter. I'll just put 23. 9/23/22. It may not be exactly, but it doesn't matter. In 2 years, it's not going to matter if it was a couple days off. So there you go. I'll finish sealing these up, and I'll come back with a opinion on the different ways that we processed all these tangerines. So I'll come back. It's all finished. So if I had to pick which way that I would want to preserve my tangerines in the future, I would definitely go the canning route. 10 minutes in a water bath canner, I mean, you can't beat that. It's just so much easier. I definitely do the peels again, because this, I think, took 16 hours plus extra dry time, if I can remember right. So this wasn't bad. I'm actually not going to powder this. I was going to powder it, but I think I'm going to leave it like this for now and just get, remove what I need and then blend it up then. I don't know, I may blend up some in a separate jar or something. But for now, I'm just going to leave them like this. The freeze drying method on tangerine slices. Generally, I would go freeze dry for most everything. Tangerine slices, not so much. I believe with the extra dry time, I had it in for like, I think 43 hours, which is that's just a long time. I did get, like I said, a couple jars, some mylar bags for long-term storage. I have orange trees planted. I have like 4 navel trees and 2 satsumas. So hopefully in the not too long in the future, I will have my own oranges. So I don't have to really depend on that. Although you always have a backup for a backup and for a backup. What if something happens, you get a disease in your trees, your oranges, it kills all your oranges, you don't get any oranges, but you can't prepare for everything. But anyway, that's kind of my plan. But I don't think I'm going to do freeze-dried tangerines again, just because it takes so long. Canning would be my preferred method. Water bath, 10 minutes. Yeah, I'll do that. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that little bell so you will be notified when we have some upcoming videos. There will actually be a part 2 and a part 3 and a part 4, I think, to this, because I bought a ton of produce at our local, one of our local produce stands, and thanks to USA Produce, great produce. But I still got a ton of stuff to do. This is the first thing I had completely finished, so there will be some other parts to this. So make sure you tune in and watch those, and be sure to get your house in order. We don't know what's coming, whether it's a hurricane, job loss for your family, government plans, whatever you think it might be, which I have an idea. But bottom line, you have to feed your family. So make sure you get your house in order, get prepared for whatever might be coming. If you have any other ideas on processing, preserving oranges, tangerines, make sure you comment below, and we'll see you on the next video. Have a good day.